We are here on Welcome to High Level Sports Talk, and we are here with the freshman phenom, David Avit of Villanova. Man, how you been doing, my man?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Man, been doing great, man. Just been busy, sports season, man. Football's been great.
Yeah.
Villanova doing their thing, man. It's been a great season, 7-2. Hampton, it was a tough team. I said coming in because they scored a lot of big points against a lot
Yeah.
of teams, and
Mhm.
I was like, this is going to be a test for the defense. And the test, after the main game, it was crazy. Then y'all came back, and I was like, listen, I know this team's good, so I know they're
Mhm.
going to come back and rebound. It was just great 2 game win streak y'all been on. Defense been at a high level. How
Yeah.
have you felt being a Villanova Wildcat, man?
It's been pretty good. It honestly feels great. The defense has been stepping up like a lot. Like I'm seeing them get goal line stops. I think they got about like three against Maine. They did really good against Hampton today. Not today. Yesterday. Yesterday. We just been playing at a pretty high level on the defensive side. Offense, we can step some things up. There's a couple of things I could be doing better. Just looking back at the Hampton game, but I feel like if we just keep attacking every week, we win out, we can make a good run in the playoffs, I believe.
Now, talking about the Hampton game, I remember I was talking to you earlier. You was like, you felt like you could have been better. We talk about the football game. You on that game, you was like, I think that game, you really was a big contributor in that game, big time. Especially the key runs you did. Now let's talk about what you did. Your performance was huge. You rushed for 81 yards, 26 rushes. Um, Big time touchdown there. I know. You look at what you could have did better, but man, you was such a workhorse. Tell us about this season, and also talk about because I talked to Isaiah Regland. We're also going to talk about that running back room. Talk about how special that running back room is. You,
Yeah.
Jabril Mace, Isaiah Wright. And then you got guys in the trenches like Eli Smith. That is a talented running back room. Talk about that room and how y'all connected.
So when I got there, it just clicked. Like everyone was super helpful. Like everyone was so ready to work together and just like see everybody do good. Like I've never seen like a group of men just want to see everybody just rise to the best of their ability. So like I want to see Jabril go score. I want to see Raglan go score. I want to see Eli go score. I want to see Glenn score. I want to see Wright score. I want to see everybody just do good because we have six great guys. I think we have the
Mm-hmm.
best running back room in the nation. To be
Yeah.
honest, I think we have those. We're so deep in the running back room. You can give the ball to anybody. We can just go work. So I mean, we have high expectations for what we should be doing in these next coming games. And I think that the running back room, personally, I think we should score at least every single game. I feel like we've been a little bit quiet these last two games, and I feel like we should, start making a little bit more impact coming to these next three games that we finish out the season with.
When you came out of Urbana High School, man, you was looking at your film, man. It was crazy when I said they getting this guy, and you come into that room right, and then after the first game, second game goes by, and I talked to Ferranti. Ferranti was like, "This guy's fast. This guy's fast. He's powerful," and it seemed like you got better with each game. And the big thing is that you got to have a good offensive line. Talk about just how good the offensive line is.
I mean, the offensive line is great. Like they really make stuff easy for me. Especially in the pass pro, Jake Picard. Having him there is like he just
Yeah,
like
Jake.
he can read defenses like no other man. Like it's always great having him there. We have a young freshman Ryan Creedon stepping up and playing.
Yeah, no
When
doubt.
Kyle Fay got hurt, he's doing a great job, especially for a freshman. Like you don't hear a freshman offensive lineman starting at tackle, and he started his first game against Maryland. He did great. So we have a great offensive line. I love shutting them out. I try to dap them up after every play. Like they really make because without them we can't have nothing. So
Right.
I feel like we just need to grow as a group. Pass pro we can just grow as a group. Um, I mean I don't think that there's anything like what's it called? What's the word like bad to say about our offensive line. I feel like
Right.
we're we're like especially the fact that we're so young. We have a lot of redshirt freshmen players like Chris McCullers, Tommy Broderick.
Yeah.
So like they're really young. I know that going forward we're just gonna keep getting better. We have so much potential for these next, like, even just finishing out the season. We have so much potential. I feel like we can do something big with the roster we got, especially our.
Yeah, the offensive line, Ron Cregan. I remember them recruiting Broderick and man Jake Picard. I knew he was going to be a force. I just think he's such a big force on that line, and to see him get down is big. And Kyle Fay, how is he? How's he doing? How's he been doing, my man?
Kyle Fay's been doing great, man. Like I love Kyle Fay on any pulling
Monster,
play. Like
monster.
he will hit somebody, man. Like Kyle
Yeah.
Fay's a dog. It's great having him come back because I'm pretty sure he came off an injury, so great having him come back this year, and hopefully we can get him back as soon as possible.
Now, talking about the next game that y'all have coming up on the schedule, how much are you prepared to just like y'all started when y'all got that loss, man? I mean, Merlin was the one loss. I
Mhm.
mean, that's a
Yeah,
hard team, but y'all played them so tough,
yeah.
and y'all really let people know who y'all were. Now the next game. Talk about the next game coming up and how y'all preparing for that game.
So it's gonna be NCAT at home. We look at every team the same way. We just know that we have to prepare on our side. We have to play Villanova football.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we just have to go out there and play fast, tough, and we have to start off early, especially on the offensive side. Like we can't be punting the ball 9 times a game anymore. Like we have to go score. Defense gets stops.
Right.
Defense will get a forced 3 and out within like a minute and a half, and we're back on the field. So we have to just attack them with fast and with pressure. Like we really have to put the pressure on them this week,
Right.
and offense just has to have a statement going into this game, I believe.
Talk about playing in Merlin, man. Merlin has that's a football rich, so much talent. Talk about how I was
Mhm.
competing in Merlin and standing out as a prospect.
I mean, Maryland has some of the best athletes I think in the country.
Yes,
DMV, like DMV, you really do find some guys in the DMV. So it's always great to be home and be playing there. I got to play with my brother throughout high school, and I think that was like one of my favorite moments playing football ever. Just being able to be on the same team as him and score touchdowns with him on the field and him block for me.
Mhm.
So playing against Maryland guys, we have a couple Maryland guys on the team in the freshman class, DeMille Bostic and New SEM, and it's always just cool seeing people from where I'm from come out here and ball on this level too.
Yeah, DeMille's a baller, man.
Mhm.
Um, Talking about the recruiting process for Villanova, them recruiting you. How did that go? And just talk about the visit and what impressed you the most that made you want to commit to Villanova, and who recruited you.
So my first recruiter was Coach Johnson,
Mhm.
Coach DJ. He was my area recruiter, or he reached out to me on Twitter, I believe. And I my parents were pretty interested in Villanova because it was a great school, and I was like, I came to learn that they were actually pretty good at football. My coach in high school would tell me, so I came up and I visited a couple times, and I did the visit with Coach Ferrante, and they offered me. I like on my official visit, I was pretty impressed with just how close knit everybody was. Like it seemed like these people actually like cared for each other, and that's something like you really don't see on a lot of college football teams. Like the head coach will go and talk to a walk on or go talk to a player who doesn't really play or an injured player. At like any time, he'll come in and check up on us. He'll have meetings with you, like just to see a head coach that had such a connection with all his players who could name everybody on the team. It just that really struck me a lot, and it really struck my dad a lot because he really liked how Coach Ferrante was doing things, and that really what sold me to come to Villanova.
How did you coach Ferrante, man? I mean, Villanova's been competing for a minute. I mean, they have good classes, good seasons. How is it connecting with Coach Ferrante? How is he as a coach? How is he as a player? How is that connection?
I think he's the best player coach I've ever had. Like he really strikes like players really love playing for him. I really love playing for Coach Ferrante. Like I like even though I've only been here for a short time, like I got here in the summer, I really know like that's a guy I can trust. That's a guy I can go to and speak to. I know that he'd have my back, and that's the same thing for every player on the team. I think he'd have everyone's player on the back, and anyone in the football organization. Like he's a great player coach. He recruits. great coaches. Like we have a great coaching staff. Like Coach Fletcher, he's like a great football mind. Like he
Mm-hmm.
really knows what he's talking about when he explains something to you. So just being around any of the coaches, like there's always something good I can learn from them. So I try to pay attention as much as possible.
Talk about Coach Bowden. I mean, offensive coordinator,
Mhm.
good mind, good X's and O's coach. Man, talk about the connection with him as an offensive player. How is it connecting with back Coach Bowden?
Just trying to be able to fit in his scheme. Like something I've been trying to work on is my tempo. I feel like I've been rushing a couple of these plays, so being able to see that he has it in such a way that the quarterback needs as much time to read the RPO, and I got to adjust to that. So just being able to fit within his scheme. He's a great coach. He's a great football mind. He knows what he's doing. So being able to learn as much as from him is always great for me.
And talking about the rest of the schedule right now, AT&T. I know you got to prepare for every game. Like every team's the same. But AT, y'all need that. Y'all need to box up on somebody real quick. Then but you got Monmouth and you got Delaware in the
Mhm.
season. This is going to be key because you're one of the best teams, the elite teams in FBS. So it's how is it the rest of this schedule right now? What is the mindset of this team right now?
Um, I mean, we just take it as going 1-0 every week.
Right.
We the next game. The only reason why the next game is important is because it's the next game. So we have to get stuff done. We can't overlook any team like NCA and T. I mean, we know their record, but they can come out and smack us in the mouth if we come out
Right.
flat. Like, and we
Mhm.
learned that at Maine. Like any
Right.
team can come play. It's CA when it's CAA ball, especially. So I'm just looking at the next week. I just want to go help my team win.
Now we're talking about you as a running back, man. You're phenomenal. Big time year you're having, man. It's really something to see you coming as a freshman and doing what you're doing. I mean, that is crazy. You 644 yards on the year, 5.7 yards per carry, 6 touchdowns. I mean, wow, averaging 70 yards a game. Like it's what is coming in as a freshman and getting that time, man. I mean, working hard. What does it mean to earn the coach's confidence as a freshman?
I mean, I'm just thankful, like, for them to be able to put that much trust in a freshman. Like I just got the ball 25 times a game.
Mhm.
Not, I mean, 25 carries for that game. Like, so to
Right.
see that they have that much trust in me to give the ball to me on a crucial fourth and one, so it just means a lot. It just shows how much I've worked and how much like it came into fruition because I used to dream about this. Like coming into this year, I knew I had a chance I could play, and I just had to
Mhm.
make it happen. So I'm just pretty thankful for it all.
You could hit that
You
1,000
got it.
yards, man. It is crazy
Mhm.
right now how you're
Yeah.
going. You being a football player, what player? I mean, what player do you model your game after, man? Who do you look after? I mean, your running style is power, and you can explode, especially that third. You even got a third gear. Like, what player did you model your game after?
So like when I came up, I was really liking Herschel Walker. I remember I watched one of his documentaries, like of him racing the train, and I was just like, yeah, this is who I want to be like. So I used to
He's a
watch how he
great.
played.
He's
He
a
was
great.
a phenomenal athlete. Like
Yes.
that's who I wanted to be like growing up. That's why I actually started playing running back. So Herschel
Wow.
Walker is definitely the one for me.
Big. That's big.
Hmm.
Herschel Walker's definitely a great. Herschel Walker played for my favorite team, the Eagles,
Hmm.
one year. He was. I mean, watching him, he could return kicks. I mean, he was definitely that. That's a great pick, man. Um, looking at now, coming into this. I mean, you're one of the guys, no question. That now you got NFL's like Villanova's one of those schools where they're looking at the talent. I mean, they're looking at talent all over. So, what would you bring in the pro level? What do you think you add when you leave college? What do you think you add to a pro team when you get there? Why would they want to take a chance on David Avit?
I think I can. I think I'm a pretty good all around player. Like I can
Mhm.
do a lot for organization. Like I think my pass pro, especially as a freshman, I've been doing pretty good in pass pro.
Mhm.
So I think I can pass pro well. I can definitely run the ball hard, get you a good steady 6 to 7 yards a carry, a down, and like get you a good second and three, so we can make start throwing the ball deep. Um, I think especially by year 3 or 4, my speed is gonna be really there. Like I know I can run now, but I feel like especially the way I'm about to be working this off season, that fourth gear is gonna start hitting.
Do you know your 40 time?
So in when I ran a laser, I ran a 4.6, but
Mm-hmm.
I think I can run better now. I believe
Man,
so.
4.6 at your power. That's crazy. Now you were talking about your parents talking about coming up. You came up. Did you come up in Maryland? Is that where you was raised?
Yeah, I was born in Maryland. I was raised in
Okay.
Maryland.
We'll talk about coming up in Maryland. Is any other athletes in your family?
Yeah. So my brother, he plays for Maryland. From Maryland. My mom, and my dad. My mom played a bunch of sports when she was growing up. She swam, played volleyball, she ran track. My dad didn't really play too many sports, but I his brother was actually super athletic. He played soccer. So
Mhm.
I mean, we have a couple like athletes in the family. Like, but I just feel like especially my brothers, they're a pretty athletic bunch.
Talk about I mean, just talk about your parents. Just focus on that. Talk about the influence of your parents. I mean, being a student athlete, making a decision to college, going to visits. I mean, that is key. The game to me is 90% mental in sports. So to have that mental aspect. Talk about them and their influence and impact on you.
I'm I come from a very religious family.
Mm-hmm.
My both of my parents are believers in Christ, and so am I. So like having that impact on me through my life, it helped a lot. Like I can't remember the last time I didn't go to church on Sunday.
Right.
So having those values instilled,
Good
like
deal.
being able to be thankful,
Good.
just it just makes me be so thankful for where I'm at, because Villanova is a great school. Like people pay thousands and thousands of dollars to go here, and I'm
Right.
just so grateful to be able to be in this situation at a great school like this, like Villanova.
God is number one. God is definitely number one. Now we're talking about I want to now let's talk some football because talk about the running backs. A lot of good, and then now they're starting to get paid. They're starting to respect the running back. They're respecting the running back this year. Saquon got the big contract.
Yeah,
Henry, who I felt like Baltimore got a discount. What I
yeah.
mean, these
Mhm.
guys are all good. Bijan Robinson. This is a lot of guys that are doing it. Let's talk about who you think is the best running back. Who you think, and who is your favorite?
I mean, I just seen Saquon do a behind the back hurdle, which I think was
That was crazy.
the craziest thing I've seen. Like I haven't seen a play like I would never think
That was
of doing
crazy.
that like ever. So I mean Saquon's definitely handling business right now. I mean
Yeah.
I always thought Derrick Henry was the best running back in the league since he's been in there,
Mhm.
and he's been handling business and he's at a pretty old age. But I like Saquon a lot for
Man, that
top
is
running back.
crazy because I remember him
Mhm.
and Penn State doing what he was doing, and I
Yeah,
mean, man, that backwards that was bananas. That was bananas. I like how do you think to do it backward like that? It's crazy how he just. But
and
now
he
Derrick
got up
Henry,
too.
yeah, yep, like he did, like it
Mhm.
was crazy. It was when they did it in replay, it was even more. I mean, like he did that, like that
That's
was crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Derrick Henry, he now when you say that, with you saying that he reminds me more of your running style. Like he's the power guy. He can run. That's definitely you, my man. It has been one thing in the NFL, man. And this is asking a player. This who do you think? Now we say Mahomes. Let's take Mahomes out. Take
mhm.
Mahomes out. Who do you think is the next best player in the NFL period? Like who's the number one guy? Because we Mahomes is unfair. Let's take
Yeah.
who's the next best player you feel like in the league in football, and who do you think is the best player right now in between? Matter of fact, let's just talk about the pros, and we're gonna go to the next question because that's a deep one. There. Let's talk about who's the best player you feel like in NFL, not Mahomes.
Okay. Being Commanders fan, I gotta say Jaden Daniels. Like he's playing like a dog. That's my guy. But
Man, yeah, he playing good.
realistically, like I gotta say like Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
Like
good pick.
he can
Good
really
pick.
do it.
Good
So
pick, man. He's really elevated his pocket. I mean, wow, he's like he's fearless. Like when
yeah.
they like in there. So he's dangerous. talking about where you at FCS,
Mhm.
FBS. Who do you think this is a question? Who do you think is the best player in the FCS, and who do you think is the best player in the FBS? And you got the Walter Payton Award, and you got the Heisman. Like y'all have candidates on there. Like y'all got. I mean, Connor is a tough guy. Connor is tough.
Mhm.
Connor's a tough guy. So who do you think to you right now? It's all on you. Who do you think is the best player in those things?
I mean, for FBS, I mean, I gotta say Travis Hunter.
Gotcha.
I don't think like,
I
especially
agree.
being an offensive player, to
I
be able
agree.
to know both books
Yeah,
and to be that conditioned to where you could play every single play on both
I agree.
sides. Yeah, you're the
I
best player in the
agree.
country to
Yeah,
at a high level. Like
yeah, I
I think
agree.
that's Travis. FCS, FCS, especially this year. I mean, I feel like everyone's playing good, but I feel like somebody has to separate themselves out a little bit more.
You're right.
I mean, they're like
Good answer. Good
everyone's been
answer.
playing at a high level, but like I know the Monmouth running back's been playing pretty well. Um,
Yeah.
like who else? Like I know Rhode Island's playing well, but I just gotta like start hearing a little bit more like players' names and stuff. I don't think I've
Yeah.
heard too much from individuals, but I know that teams are playing well, and a couple running backs are popping off. Like I know the Elon running back, the freshman, he was doing pretty well too. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, that's a good answer. It's a good, and the one thing you said that is very key. You said for a person to know both playbooks, to know both Travis Hunter knows. People don't understand to know the playbook, not just to have the talent. That's the mental part of it. That's
yeah,
why I says 90% mental. To know both playbooks and be elite at both,
elite. Yeah.
that's crazy. Like
Like
I
that's not like people really overlook how generational that being able to do that is, and
yeah,
he's a great player. So
yeah. He's number one. He was number one in the country coming out. I mean, and he's continued to be there. I mean, he's going to be in the top five. I think he's the number one pick. It's like
yeah,
number
he's
one.
yeah.
I mean, you're not going to, and I think he can play there. That was a great pick. It was a good explanation. Both playbooks. We're talking about y'all when a person can know both playbooks. Now, Deion Sanders and Charles Woodson have all played on both sides of the ball. Just Charles Woodson did that in college for
Yeah.
Michigan. Deion Sanders did it, but not like.
Yeah,
Listen,
the way he's doing it is different though.
it's totally different. Deion
Mhm.
Sanders was a cornerback straight up all day. I mean, he could run the 4.2, he could do all that. But to come straight out of high school, and he's never stopped playing both playbooks. That was a great answer, man.
Mhm.
Listen, man, great talking to you, David. Man, I'm always rooting for you.
Thank you.
Man, just an unbelievable player you are, and you're a good role model for any student athletes coming and any players that are playing your position, man. Great talking to you, man, and I will be looking forward to seeing you play at North Carolina A&T in the rest of the season and seeing this Villanova 7-2 Villanova team keep doing their thing, man.
Yes,
Nice
sir.
talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And we are out, y'all. This is High Level Sports Talk, and this is David Avit, and we are.